Years ago, a woman came to me. She was 47 years old, and doctors told her she had 6 months to live. Cancer had spread through her body like wildfire. She sat in my office and said, "Dr. Murphy, I've tried everything. Surgery, treatments, prayers that didn't work. I'm ready to give up." I looked at her and said, "My dear, you haven't tried the one thing that matters most. You haven't spoken to your cells." She looked at me like I'd lost my mind. But I promise you, what happened in the next 3 months defied every medical prediction those doctors made. And it wasn't a miracle in the way most people think. It was simply divine order being restored. Stay with me, because the principle that healed her is inside you right now, waiting to be activated. My friend, I know why you're here. You're tired. Tired of treatments that don't work. Tired of pain that won't leave. Tired of hoping and praying and trying everything, only to wake up tomorrow feeling the same way you feel today. Maybe you've been told there's nothing more that can be done. Maybe you've been managing symptoms for years, without ever addressing the root cause. Maybe you're watching someone you love suffer, and you feel helpless. I understand. I've sat with thousands of people, just like you, and I want you to know something right now, before we go any further. This isn't your fault. Let me tell you what's really happening. You've been fighting your body. You've been treating it like an enemy that betrayed you, like a machine that broke down. You wake up every morning cataloging what hurts, what's wrong, what's getting worse. And with every worried thought, every fearful diagnosis you repeat to yourself, every time you say my arthritis, or my chronic condition, you're actually reinforcing the very pattern you want to escape from. Nobody taught you that your subconscious mind doesn't judge whether your thoughts are good or bad. It simply accepts them as instructions, and builds accordingly. Nobody told you that the words you speak and the images you hold in your mind are literally programming your cells, moment by moment, day by day. Here's what most people get wrong, and why they stay sick. They think healing is about fighting disease. They declare war on their bodies. They battle cancer. They combat illness. And what happens? The thing you fight grows stronger. Because you're giving it all your attention, all your emotional energy, all your mental power. But divine order doesn't work through warfare. It works through alignment, through surrender, through trust in the intelligence that's been running your body since before you were born. Today, you're going to learn what I call the secret blueprint, the principle that there is already, right now, a perfect pattern of health woven into your very being. You didn't create it. You can't destroy it. You can only align with it or resist it. And I'm going to show you exactly how to align. We're going to go deeper than techniques and affirmations. We're going to understand the spiritual laws that govern healing, the same laws that govern everything in this universe. You're going to learn how to speak the language your cells understand, how to release the toxic patterns stored in your subconscious, how to activate the healing intelligence that never left you. For over 30 years, I've watched people walk away from death sentences. Not occasionally. Not rarely. Regularly. I've seen tumors disappear. I've seen chronic conditions that lasted decades vanish in weeks. I've seen people in wheelchairs walk. People given up on by medicine return to perfect health. Not because I'm special. Not because they were special. But because they learned to work with the divine order instead of against it. By the end of this teaching, you'll no longer feel like a victim of your body. You'll understand that you have authority, real authority, over your health. You'll have specific practices you can begin tonight. And most importantly, you'll feel something shift inside you. That's when you'll know the blueprint has been activated. So settle in, my friend. Open your mind. Let go of everything you think you know about healing. Because what you're about to discover has been hidden in plain sight your entire life. Now let me take you back to that woman I mentioned, because her story contains every principle I'm going to teach you today. When she sat down in my office, I could see the fear written all over her face. Her hands were trembling. Her skin had that gray pallor that comes from months of worry and sleepless nights. She'd lost weight. Her eyes were sunken. And more than the physical deterioration, I could feel the heaviness of defeat surrounding her like a dark cloud. She'd given up. Not just on treatment. She'd given up on life itself. I asked her a simple question. Do you believe God made you? She looked at me, a little confused by the question, but she said yes. Then I asked her another question. Do you believe God makes mistakes? She paused. A long pause. And then she said no. Very quietly. I leaned forward and said, then why do you believe that the body God gave you is fundamentally flawed? Why do you believe that disease is more powerful than the intelligence that created 37 trillion cells working in perfect harmony? She started to cry. Not sad tears. Something deeper was breaking open inside her. She said, I never thought of it that way. I said, my dear, that's because nobody taught you. They taught you to fear your body. They taught you to see disease as an invader, something outside yourself attacking you. But what if I told you that disease is simply confusion? It's your cells receiving mixed messages, conflicting instructions, and they're doing exactly what you're unconsciously telling them to do. I could see her mind working, trying to understand. So I explained it this way. Right now, this very moment, every thought you think is being translated into chemistry in your body. When you think a fearful thought, your body produces stress hormones. When you think a loving thought, your body produces healing chemistry. Your cells don't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. They simply respond to what you're broadcasting. And you, my dear, have been broadcasting fear, worry, and death for months. Your cells are listening. They're obedient. They're giving you exactly what you're asking for. She said, but I don't want this. I don't want to die. I said, I know you don't consciously want it, but your subconscious mind, the part of you that actually runs your body, is accepting the diagnosis as final. Every time you say I have 6 months to live, you're impressing that instruction onto your subconscious. Every time you imagine your funeral, every time you say goodbye in your mind, you're programming your cells for death. Not because you're bad. Not because you're doing it on purpose, but because you don't understand the law. Then I taught her something that changed everything. I said, tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to do something. Close your eyes, place both hands on your body, wherever the cancer is, and I want you to speak to those cells. Not with anger, not with fear, with love. Tell them, I love you. I'm sorry I've been sending you fear and death. You are made of divine intelligence. You know how to be well. Return to perfect health now. I command you in the name of the infinite intelligence that created you. Return to divine order. She looked at me skeptically. Dr. Murphy, I've prayed. I've asked God to heal me. It hasn't worked. I said, you've been begging God to do something God has already done. God doesn't heal you. God has already made you whole. Your job is to accept that wholeness, to stop denying it with your fearful thoughts, and to align yourself with the pattern of perfection that already exists within you. I gave her specific instructions. Every morning, before getting out of bed, spend 5 minutes feeling what it's like to be completely healthy. Don't imagine it as a future hope. Feel it as a present reality. See yourself doing the things you'll do when you're well. Feel the energy in your body. Feel the gratitude. Make it so real that your body can't tell the difference between the imagination and reality. Because to your subconscious mind, there is no difference. She agreed to try. Not because she believed it would work, but because she had nothing left to lose. That was 3 months before her doctors expected her to die. In the first week, nothing changed physically. But she told me later that something changed inside. A small spark of hope. A feeling that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as helpless as she thought. She did the practice every morning and every night. She talked to her cells with love. She stopped saying my cancer. She started saying the condition my body is resolving. 3 weeks in, something shifted. The constant pain in her abdomen decreased. Not gone, but noticeably less. She had more energy. She could eat a little more. She called me excited, almost afraid to hope. I said, keep going. Don't stop now. Don't check for results every day, like you're pulling up a plant to see if it's growing roots. Plant the seed, water it with your faith, and let divine intelligence do the work. By week 6, she went back to her oncologist for a routine scan. She didn't tell him what she'd been doing. She just went for the scan. When the results came back, the doctor called her into his office with a puzzled expression. He said, "I don't understand this. The tumors have shrunk. Significantly. Not a little. A lot. This doesn't usually happen. Without treatment." He asked her what she'd been doing differently. She smiled, and said, "I've been following a different kind of prescription. One that works from the inside out." 3 months later, the same timeline her doctors had given her to die, she had another scan. The doctor walked in, sat down, and said words she never thought she'd hear. "I don't see any cancer. It's gone. We call this spontaneous remission. We don't know why it happens." She called me that day, crying so hard she could barely speak. "Dr. Murphy," she said. "The cancer is gone. They can't find it." The doctor said spontaneous remission. I said, "My dear, there's nothing spontaneous about it. It's divine order restored. You stopped blocking the healing that was always trying to happen. You aligned yourself with the blueprint." But here's what she did that most people never do. She didn't just use techniques. She changed her entire relationship with her body. She stopped seeing it as an enemy. She started treating it like a beloved friend, who'd been trying to communicate with her for years. And when she listened, when she responded with love instead of fear, her body responded the only way it could. It healed. Now you might be wondering if her story is unique. Maybe she was special somehow. Let me tell you about another person. A man, a successful businessman, 42 years old. He came to me with a bleeding ulcer that had plagued him for 3 years. He'd tried every medication, every diet. Nothing worked. The pain was constant. He was losing weight. He couldn't sleep. His doctor told him if it didn't improve soon, they'd have to remove part of his stomach. I sat with him, and I asked him a question that seemed to come out of nowhere. "Who haven't you forgiven?" He looked at me like I was crazy. "What does forgiveness have to do with my stomach?" I said, "Everything. Your body doesn't know the difference between a physical poison and an emotional one. Resentment is acid. It burns. And you're holding on to something, someone, and it's eating you alive from the inside." He got angry. "That's ridiculous. This is a physical problem. I need medical help, not psychology." I said, "Then why hasn't the medical help worked?" He didn't have an answer. I said, "I'm not telling you to stop seeing your doctor. I'm telling you there's something deeper going on here. And until you address it, your body will keep manifesting the same problem in different ways. Come back when you're ready to tell me the truth." It took 3 more sessions before he finally broke down. He told me about his brother, a business partnership that went wrong, money that was stolen, a betrayal that happened 5 years ago. He said, "I think about it every day. I see his face. I imagine confronting him. I fantasize about revenge. Sometimes it's the first thing I think about when I wake up." I said, "And where do you feel that anger in your body?" He put his hand on his stomach. "Right here. It burns." I said, "That's not your ulcer talking. That's unforgiveness talking. Your body is manifesting externally what you're carrying internally." I taught him a practice. Every night before bed, he had to say out loud, "I forgive my brother completely. I release all resentment. I set myself free." He resisted. "I can't do that. I'm not ready." I said, "You don't have to feel it. You just have to say it. Eventually, the feeling will follow. But your subconscious needs to hear new instructions. Right now, it's building your body based on resentment. Let's give it something else to build with." He was skeptical, but he agreed. 1 week passed. He called me. "Dr. Murphy, something strange is happening. I'm sleeping better. The pain is less." I said, "Keep going." 2 weeks. He said the burning sensation was half of what it was. 4 weeks. He went back to his doctor for a follow-up. The doctor examined him and said, "I don't know what you're doing, but the ulcer is healing." 6 weeks after he started the forgiveness practice, the ulcer was completely gone. He came back to see me, humbled. He said, "I didn't believe it could work. I thought emotions and body were separate things." I said, "My friend, Everything is connected. Your thoughts create your emotions. Your emotions create your chemistry. Your chemistry creates your physical reality. You were literally digesting anger, and it was destroying you. When you released the anger, your body had no reason to maintain the symptom. Now you might be thinking, but Dr. Murphy, my situation is physical, not emotional. I have a real disease. Real symptoms. This isn't in my mind. And I want to be very clear with you, my friend. I'm not saying disease is imaginary. I'm not saying pain isn't real. What I'm saying is that the root cause is always deeper than the physical symptom. The symptom is the effect. The cause is in consciousness. Let me tell you about a young girl. She was 8 years old. Her mother brought her to me because she had constant infections. Ear infections. Throat infections. Respiratory infections. She was on antibiotics more often than she was off them. Her immune system was weak. She missed a lot of school. The mother was terrified. She said, "Dr. Murphy, I'm afraid she'll never be strong like other children. She's fragile. She's always been fragile." And right there, I heard the problem. The mother's belief. Children are like sponges. They absorb everything around them, especially the beliefs of their parents. This little girl was living in an atmosphere of fear. Every day, her mother's worry was impressing upon her subconscious mind the belief that she was weak, fragile, always sick, and her body, obedient as always, was manifesting that belief. I didn't work with the child, I worked with the mother. I said, "You love your daughter deeply. I can see that. But your fear is making her sick. Every time you say she's fragile, every time you treat her like she's breakable, every time you expect her to get sick, you're programming her subconscious mind. She's becoming what you believe about her." The mother started crying. "I don't mean to hurt her. I'm just worried." I said, "I know. But worry is negative prayer. It's faith in the wrong outcome." I taught the mother a new practice. Every night, as the little girl was falling asleep, the mother would sit beside her and say, "Your body is strong. Your body is well. Divine order flows through every cell. You are healthy, you are protected, you are safe." I told her, "Say it with feeling, believe it as you say it. Impress it upon her subconscious mind, while she's in that receptive state between waking and sleeping." The mother was skeptical, but desperate. She did it every single night. She also stopped talking about her daughter's weakness. She stopped expecting sickness. She started treating her like a healthy, strong child. In 3 months, something remarkable happened. The infection stopped. Just stopped. The little girl started playing sports. Her energy increased. Her color improved. 6 months later, the mother brought her back to see me. She said, "Dr. Murphy, I can't believe it. She hasn't been sick once. Not one infection." "What happened?" I said. "You changed the mental atmosphere she was living in. You stopped feeding her subconscious the belief in weakness, and you started feeding it the belief in strength." Her body simply aligned with the new belief. The mother said, "But what about genetics? What about her weak immune system?" I said, "Genetics load the gun, but belief pulls the trigger. Yes, she may have had a predisposition. But predisposition is not predestination. You have authority over how genes express themselves. And that authority is exercised through belief. You see, this isn't about positive thinking in the way most people understand it. This isn't about pretending everything is fine when it's not. This is about understanding divine law. The law that governs how your subconscious mind builds your body. The law that governs how beliefs become biology. Let me tell you something from my own journey, because I didn't always understand this. In my early years of ministry, I prayed for people, and I saw some heal while others didn't. I couldn't understand why. I believed in God. I believed in prayer. I believed in miracles. But it seemed so random. Some people got their miracle, others didn't. And I struggled with that. I questioned everything. Why would God heal one person and not another? Why would a good person suffer while a not-so-good person thrived? It tormented me. Then one night, I was studying scripture, and I came across a line that changed everything. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Not coming someday. Not up in the sky. Within you. Right now. And suddenly, I understood. God isn't up there somewhere deciding who to heal and who not to heal. God has already done the healing. The pattern of perfect health is already built into your being. It's part of the kingdom within. Your job isn't to beg God for something God has already given. Your job is to accept it, to claim it, to align yourself with it. I tested this principle on myself. I was dealing with a health challenge at the time, chronic exhaustion that wouldn't go away no matter what I did. I'd been praying, God, please give me energy. Please heal me. Nothing changed. Then I changed my prayer. I stopped asking. I started claiming. I would say, divine energy flows through me now. I am strong, I am well, I am vibrant. Thank you, God, for the perfect health that is mine. At first, it felt like I was lying. I wasn't energetic. I was exhausted. But I persisted. Every morning and every night. I claimed it as if it were already true. I stopped talking about my exhaustion. I stopped identifying with it. And within 2 weeks, everything shifted. The exhaustion lifted. Energy returned. Not gradually, suddenly. And I realized what had happened. I'd stopped blocking the healing that was always trying to happen. I'd aligned myself with the divine blueprint. From that moment on, everything I taught changed. I stopped begging God on behalf of others. I started teaching them how to accept what God had already provided. And the results were undeniable. Healing after healing after healing. Not because I was special. Not because they were special. But because we were working with law. Divine law. The same law that causes seeds to grow and planets to orbit. Unchanging, reliable, always working. Once I understood this, I had to know why it worked. I had to understand the mechanism. And that's what I want to teach you now, my friend, the law behind the miracles. Because once you understand the law, you can apply it to anything, not just physical healing, any condition, any problem, any challenge. Your subconscious mind is the builder of your body. Most people don't understand this. They think their body just exists, separate from their mind. But your body is a living, breathing manifestation of your habitual thinking. Your subconscious mind is constantly monitoring every thought you think, every word you speak, every image you hold in your imagination, and it accepts without question whatever your conscious mind impresses upon it. Think about it this way. If I gave you a piece of soil and said, plant whatever you want, what would happen? If you planted rose seeds, you'd get roses. If you planted weed seeds, you'd get weeds. The soil doesn't judge. It doesn't say, oh, you're a good person, so I'll give you roses even though you planted weeds. No. The soil is neutral. It grows whatever you plant. Your subconscious mind is exactly the same. It's the soil. Your thoughts are the seeds, and it will grow disease or health with equal effectiveness, depending on what you plant. Every thought you think repeatedly becomes a belief, and every belief becomes biology. This isn't mysticism. This is science. The placebo effect proves that your mind can create physical reality. When people are given sugar pills and told they're powerful medicine, 30 to 40% of them get better. Why? Because they believe they're getting medicine, and their subconscious mind produces the healing chemistry their body needs. The pill didn't heal them. Their belief healed them. Now here's what most people don't realize. If belief in a fake pill can heal, then what is belief in a real diagnosis doing? When a doctor tells you that you have 6 months to live, and you accept that as truth, you've just impressed a death sentence onto your subconscious mind. And your subconscious, being obedient, begins to shut your body down according to that timeline. Not because the doctor was right, but because you believed the doctor was right. I want you to understand something crucial. No person, no diagnosis, no prognosis, has more authority than the divine intelligence within you. None. That doctor is not God. That test result is not God. That genetic report is not God. They are all observations of current conditions. They are not declarations of final truth. The only final truth is that there is a perfect blueprint of health within you that cannot be destroyed by any external circumstance. But here's the challenge. Why do we accept a doctor's words so easily, while struggling to accept God's words? Because we've been trained to trust the external more than the internal. We've been trained to believe what we see more than what we know spiritually. And that's where we get into trouble. Because what you see is always a reflection of what you've been believing. You're looking at yesterday's thoughts made manifest. If you want to change what you see tomorrow, you have to change what you're thinking today. Your subconscious mind is impersonal. It doesn't care about you emotionally. It simply executes instructions. If you consistently think, "I'm getting sicker," it says, "Yes, sir," and builds a sicker body. If you consistently think, "Divine order is restoring me to perfect health," it says, "Yes, sir," and builds a healthier body. It doesn't judge which instruction is better. It just obeys. This is why saying "I'm sick" is actually a prayer for continued sickness. Every time you identify with disease, every time you claim ownership by saying "my arthritis" or "my diabetes," you're reinforcing the pattern. Let me give you a practical insight that will change how you approach healing. Any thought you hold consistently for 48 hours begins biological implementation. 2 days. That's all it takes for your subconscious to start building according to a new pattern. So if you worry about something for 2 days straight, your body starts preparing for that worst-case scenario. But if you claim you're healing for 2 days straight, your body starts building toward that outcome. The question is, what are you consistently impressing upon your subconscious? Because whatever it is, that's what you're getting. Now let me explain something that will give you tremendous hope. Before your body knew disease, it knew wholeness. Think about when you were conceived. That single cell that became you contained all the information necessary to build an entire human being. 37 trillion cells, all working together in perfect harmony. A heart that beats without you thinking about it. Lungs that breathe automatically. A digestive system that processes food. An immune system that fights off thousands of threats every single day without you ever knowing. This is divine intelligence. This is the blueprint. Encoded in your DNA is not just genetic information, but divine intelligence. There's a difference. And this difference will change how you see yourself. Genetic code is the physical instruction manual, the biological programming passed down through your family line. It contains information about hair color, eye color, predispositions to certain conditions. But divine blueprint is the spiritual template, the perfect pattern of health that existed before any genetic mutation, before any family illness, before any inherited weakness. And here's what's remarkable. The divine blueprint is more powerful than genetic code. This is why some people overcome so-called genetic diseases. They access the blueprint beyond genetics. They aligned with the divine pattern, instead of the family pattern. Think of it like this. Michelangelo once said, "I saw the angel in the marble, and carved until I set him free." The angel was always there. It didn't need to be created. It needed to be revealed. The marble wasn't the truth. The angel inside was the truth. Your perfect health is exactly the same. It doesn't need to be created. It needs to be revealed. The blocks, the disease, the symptoms, these are the excess marble. Your work isn't to build health. Your work is to remove what's covering it. What are the blocks? Fear. Deep, pervasive fear that something is fundamentally wrong with you. Unforgiveness, resentment toward others, or yourself that you've been carrying for years, sometimes decades. False beliefs, ideas about disease, about your body, about your worthiness that simply aren't true but that you've accepted as truth. Toxic thoughts, the constant mental chatter that reinforces illness instead of wellness. And trauma stored as cellular memory. Every unprocessed emotion, every unresolved conflict, every painful experience that your body remembers even when your conscious mind has forgotten. Every unprocessed emotion, every unresolved conflict, every negative belief about yourself is like a layer of marble covering the angel. And here's the great reversal in thinking that will change everything for you. You're not trying to become healthy. You're revealing the health that's already present. You're not trying to fix something broken. You're removing the interference. The health is there. It's always been there. It's just been covered up. The Bible says it clearly. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Not above you, not outside you, not something you have to earn or achieve. Within you, right now. The perfect pattern is internal. It's not something you have to go searching for in the world. It's something you have to uncover within yourself. It was placed there, before you were born. Before you made any mistakes. Before you got sick. Before anything went wrong. The blueprint has always been there, waiting for you to align with it. This is why affirmations work, by the way. Not because they create new reality, but because they acknowledge present reality that you've been denying. When you say, I am healthy, you're not lying. You're not pretending. You're speaking to the divine blueprint within you. You're calling it forth from the invisible realm into the visible realm. You're commanding your subconscious to align with the truth instead of the illusion. You're removing the interference of fearful thinking and replacing it with truth. Now let me teach you something that most people never learn, and this is crucial to your healing. Your cells don't speak English. They don't understand words the way your conscious mind does. You can repeat affirmations all day long in perfect English, but if your cells don't understand the language, nothing changes. So what language do they speak? They speak the language of feeling. Words without feeling are powerless. They're just noise. But feeling without words is instinctive healing. Your cells respond to two things, mental imagery and emotional tone. This is why visualization works so powerfully. Your subconscious mind thinks in pictures, not concepts. It doesn't understand abstract ideas. It understands images. When you visualize yourself healthy, when you create a vivid mental image of your body working perfectly, your subconscious accepts that image as instruction and begins building toward it. But here's the key that most people miss. The image alone isn't enough. You have to feel the emotion of that image. You have to feel what it feels like to be completely well. The emotion that heals is gratitude, love, and peace. This is the frequency of divine order. When you feel these emotions, your body produces healing chemistry. Endorphins, the body's natural painkillers. Serotonin, which regulates mood and promotes well-being. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone that reduces stress and inflammation. DHEA, which supports immune function. These are natural medicines your body knows how to make. But it only makes them when you're in the right emotional state. On the other hand, the emotions that harm are fear, resentment, and anxiety. These are the frequencies of chaos. When you feel these emotions, your body produces stress hormones. Cortisol, which suppresses immune function and raises blood sugar. Adrenaline, which increases heart rate and blood pressure. Over time, these chemicals break your body down. They create inflammation. They disrupt sleep. They interfere with digestion. They make you more susceptible to disease. So you see, it's not just what you think, it's what you feel. Here's a practical example that will make this clear. If you say, I am healthy, while feeling afraid that you're not, what message are you sending to your cells? Confusion. Your words say one thing, your emotions say another, and your subconscious doesn't know which to believe, so it defaults to the stronger signal. And emotion is always stronger than words. Always. This is why positive thinking alone doesn't work. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but if you're feeling the opposite emotion, you're not making progress. You might even be reinforcing the problem. The alignment principle works like this, and this is a law. Thought plus feeling plus belief equals manifestation. All three must line up. You think the thought, I am healthy. You feel the emotion of health, gratitude, vitality, peace. You believe it's possible, not just theoretically but actually, personally, for you. When these three come together in harmony, your subconscious has clear instruction, and it begins creating that reality in your body. But if even one element is missing, the manifestation is delayed or blocked entirely. Now let me tell you why children heal faster than adults, because this reveals something important. It's not because their bodies are younger or more resilient. Children get sick just as easily as adults. They're exposed to the same germs, the same viruses, the same environmental factors, but they heal faster. Why? Because they have less mental interference. A child doesn't analyze, and doubt, and question. A child doesn't lie awake at night worrying about what might happen. A child feels and accepts. When a child gets a cut, they don't worry about whether it will heal. They don't research complications online. They don't catastrophize. They just know it will heal. And it does. Quickly. Efficiently. Adults, on the other hand, worry constantly. We monitor every symptom. We check and recheck. We research worst-case scenarios. We project into the future with fear. We compare ourselves to others, who didn't heal. And all that mental activity interferes with the natural healing process. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it's growing. The constant interference prevents the natural process from unfolding. So if you want to heal like a child, you must learn to trust like a child. Plant the seed of healing in your subconscious, water it with faith, and then leave it alone. Stop checking. Stop monitoring. Stop worrying. Just trust. There's something else I need to tell you about, and this is deep work that most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. Your body remembers every emotion you've ever suppressed, every tear you held back, every scream you swallowed, grief you didn't fully feel, anger you pushed down, fear you pretended wasn't there, shame you buried deep. These emotions don't just disappear into thin air. They get stored in your cells as memory, cellular memory. And over time, they create blockages in your body. They disrupt the flow of divine order. They become physical symptoms. Let me give you an example. A woman came to me with chronic shoulder pain. She'd had it for 15 years. No injury. No accident. Just constant pain. She'd tried everything. Physical therapy, massage, medication, injections. Nothing helped. I asked her, what happened 15 years ago? She looked confused. What do you mean? I said. Something significant happened in your life, 15 years ago, right around the time this pain started. Think. She thought for a moment. Then her face changed. She said, my father died. I said, and did you grieve? She said, I couldn't. I had to be strong for my mother and my siblings. I held it together. I didn't cry at the funeral. I just kept going. I said, my dear, that grief didn't disappear. You stored it in your body. Your shoulders have been carrying the weight of that unexpressed grief for 15 years. She started crying right there in my office. Deep, heaving sobs. Grief that had been locked away for a decade and a half came pouring out. And you know what happened? Within a week, the shoulder pain was 50% better. Within a month, it was completely gone. She didn't need more physical therapy. She needed emotional release. This is cellular memory, and it's one of the main reasons people stay sick even when they're doing everything right with diet, exercise, and positive thinking. The emotional wounds are still festering underneath. How do you clear cellular memory? You feel it fully. Then you release it consciously. You can't heal what you won't feel. You have to be willing to let those old emotions come up, to acknowledge them, to thank them for trying to protect you, and then to consciously let them go. This is deep work. It's not always comfortable. Sometimes it means crying. Sometimes it means getting angry in a safe space. Sometimes it means feeling fear without running from it. But it's necessary. Because as long as those emotions are stored in your body, they're interfering with your healing. They're sending conflicting signals to your cells. Your affirmations say health, but your cellular memory says pain. And your body doesn't know which instruction to follow. Here's a simple practice for emotional release that you can do right now. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Place your hand on your heart, and ask yourself, what emotion have I been avoiding? What feeling have I been pushing down? Don't think about it intellectually. Just feel into your body. Where is there tension? Where is there heaviness? That's where the stored emotion lives. Now, instead of pushing it away, breathe into it. Let it come up. If tears come, let them flow. If anger comes, express it safely. If fear comes, acknowledge it. Say out loud, I feel this. I allow this. And now I release this. Thank you for protecting me. But I don't need you anymore. I let you go. You might need to do this multiple times for deep wounds. That's okay. Healing happens in layers. But each time you release stored emotion, you're removing a block. You're clearing interference. You're allowing divine order to flow more freely through your body. And you'll notice, physical symptoms often shift immediately after emotional release. Pain decreases. Energy increases. Sleep improves. Digestion normalizes. Because you've removed the root cause. Now let me teach you about divine order versus personal willpower, because this is where a lot of people get exhausted and give up. There are two paths to healing. The exhausting path is trying to force healing through willpower. The effortless path is surrendering to divine order. Most people are on the first path. They're straining, pushing, trying so hard to make healing happen. They're researching constantly. They're trying every new technique. They're white-knuckling their way through affirmations. They're forcing themselves to be positive. And they're exhausted. Because willpower is a limited resource. Eventually, it runs out. But divine order doesn't require willpower. It requires surrender. And people misunderstand surrender. They think surrender means giving up, accepting defeat, resigning yourself to illness. That's not surrender. That's resignation. True surrender is giving over. It's releasing your tight grip of control and trusting the intelligence that's been running your body since before you were born. It's the difference between rowing a boat upstream with all your might and letting the current carry you downstream. Both will move you, but one is exhausting and the other is effortless. Here's the paradox that confuses people. The less you force, the more it flows. Why? Because trying implies absence. When you try to heal, you're saying to your subconscious, I'm not healed yet. I have to make this happen. I have to work hard for it. And that belief of absence, that belief of lack, is what your subconscious accepts as truth. It says, oh, healing isn't here yet. Okay, I'll keep building based on illness. But when you surrender, when you simply accept that healing is already present, and you're just allowing it to express, your subconscious relaxes. The interference stops, the resistance melts. And divine order flows naturally. Think about how nature heals. When you cut your finger, do you have to try to heal it? Do you have to concentrate really hard and force the skin cells to knit back together? Do you have to will your blood to clot? No. You just leave it alone, keep it clean, and the intelligence within your body does all the work automatically. You don't even think about it. And within days, the cut is healed. Perfectly. The same intelligence that heals that cut can heal anything if you don't interfere. And your interference is worry, doubt, checking symptoms obsessively, monitoring every little change with fear, trying to control the process instead of trusting it. The Bible says it so beautifully. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Stop the mental chatter. Stop the anxious monitoring. Stop the fearful projecting into the future. Stop the obsessive Googling of symptoms. Just be still. And in that stillness, in that quiet trust, divine order flows. This is the being state versus the doing state. You don't have to do healing. Healing is not an action. Healing is an acceptance. You have to be healed. You have to live from the state of wholeness, not toward it. There's a massive difference. Let me give you an example from Scripture that explains this perfectly. Jesus said, "Whatever you ask in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours." Most people miss the most important word in that sentence. Notice the tense. Have received. Not will receive someday. Not might receive if you're good enough. Have received. Present perfect tense. Already done. Already accomplished. This is the practice of assumption. You assume the wish fulfilled. You live as if it's already done. Not someday in the future. Right now. This is the secret that changes everything. When you pray, when you affirm, when you visualize, you're not trying to create something new. You're accepting something that already exists in the invisible realm and calling it forth into the visible realm. The healing is already done spiritually. Your job is to embody it mentally and emotionally so completely that your physical body has no choice but to conform. You're not becoming well. You're recognizing that you already are well, and you're removing everything in your consciousness that denies that truth. Now I want to talk about the blocks to healing, in detail, because understanding these will help you remove them systematically. The most common block, the one I see over and over again in my work, is unforgiveness. I've seen this in hundreds of cases. People holding grudges, sometimes for decades, and their bodies are literally being poisoned by the resentment. Science backs this up. Research shows a direct correlation between chronic resentment and chronic illness. Holding on to anger raises blood pressure, disrupts heart rhythm, weakens immune function, increases inflammation throughout the body. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison every day and expecting the other person to die. But the other person isn't drinking the poison. You are. Every time you replay that betrayal in your mind, every time you imagine confronting them, every time you rehearse what you should have said, every time you fantasize about them, finally understanding how much they hurt you, you're flooding your body with stress hormones. You're creating an acidic internal environment where disease thrives. You're literally making yourself sick. When you hold a grudge, you're not hurting the other person. Most of the time, they don't even know you're angry. They've moved on with their life while you're sitting in prison, replaying the same painful scenes over and over. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It has nothing to do with whether they deserve it, whether they apologized, whether they changed. Forgiveness is about you. It's about setting yourself free from the prison of bitterness. It's about choosing your health over your hurt. The second block is unworthiness. Deep down, many people don't believe they deserve to be well. Maybe they feel guilty about something they did in the past, something they can't forgive themselves for. Maybe they were taught that suffering is noble, that God loves people who suffer, that pain makes you holy. Maybe they learned that illness gets them attention they can't get any other way. Maybe they believe, on some level, that God is punishing them. These are false beliefs, lies from childhood, misinterpretations of scripture, but they're powerful. If you subconsciously believe you don't deserve health, your body will manifest that belief. You'll self-sabotage every healing attempt, without even realizing it. Here's something most people don't want to admit, but it's true and we need to face it honestly. Sometimes there are secondary gains from illness. What does that mean? It means that being sick provides something that being well doesn't. Attention from family members, who otherwise ignore you. Sympathy from others. An excuse to avoid difficult responsibilities or uncomfortable situations. A sense of identity, because you've been sick so long you don't know who you'd be if you were well. Financial support through disability, that you're afraid to lose. A reason to say no without feeling guilty. I'm not saying anyone consciously wants to be sick. Nobody wakes up and thinks, I love being in pain. But subconsciously, if there's a payoff for staying sick, if illness is meeting a need that you don't know how to meet any other way, the subconscious will keep you sick. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. What would you have to face if you got well? What would you have to give up? What difficult conversations would you have to have? What responsibilities would you have to take on? Who would you have to become? These are hard questions, but answering them honestly is part of removing the blocks. The third block is identification with disease. This is huge, and most people don't realize they're doing it. When you say, I am diabetic, you're not describing a temporary condition. You're declaring an identity. You're saying, this is who I am. And identity is the strongest force in human psychology. You will always, always, always act in alignment with who you believe you are. It's a psychological law. If you believe you are a sick person, your behavior, your thoughts, your habits will all align with that identity, and your body will maintain the illness to match your identity. But if you change how you speak about it, if you say, I'm experiencing elevated blood sugar that my body is learning to regulate, you've just changed everything. You're not the disease. You're not the condition. You're a person going through a temporary experience. That small shift in language creates a massive shift in subconscious programming. You're no longer identified with the illness. You're identified as a whole person dealing with a challenge. Language creates identity. Identity creates biology. This is why I'm so careful about teaching people how to speak. Never claim ownership of disease. It's not my cancer. It's not my arthritis. It's not my depression. Don't make it part of your identity. Don't introduce yourself that way. Hi, I'm John, and I have cancer. No. You're John. You're a divine being. You're experiencing a condition that your body is working through. That's completely different. The fourth block is time orientation. Living mentally, in the wrong time zone. Your cells live in the present moment. They can only build health now. They have no past. They have no future. They only have now. But most people are never present. They're either in the past, replaying old traumas, rehearsing old arguments, regretting old decisions, or they're in the future, worrying about what might happen, imagining worst-case scenarios, catastrophizing, and when you're mentally in the past or future, you're not available to healing in the present. And the present is the only place healing can occur. Think about it. When you're lying in bed at night worrying about next month's doctor appointment, your body is responding as if that appointment is happening right now. Your heart rate increases. Your muscles tense. Stress hormones flood your system. You're creating the physical effects of a future event that hasn't happened and might not happen the way you're imagining. Meanwhile, your body could be healing, but it can't, because you're broadcasting emergency signals. Or you're replaying something that happened last year, feeling the anger or hurt, as if it's happening now. And your body can't tell the difference between a memory and a present experience. So it responds to the memory, as if the threat is current. This keeps you in a constant state of stress, and stress is the enemy of healing. You must learn to bring your mind back to the present moment. Right now, in this moment. Are you okay? Right now, are you safe? Right now, can you breathe? Then stay here. This is where healing happens. The fifth block, and this is perhaps the most insidious, is conflicting beliefs. Split consciousness. Consciously, you want to be healthy. You're doing affirmations. You're visualizing. You're praying. But subconsciously, you believe you can't be healthy. You believe it's impossible. You believe you're the exception. And these two opposing beliefs create what I call subconscious static. Your conscious and subconscious are broadcasting different signals, like two radio stations playing at the same time, and your body doesn't know which to follow. So it defaults to the stronger signal, which is usually the subconscious belief, because it's older, deeper, more emotionally charged. How do you identify conflicting beliefs? Listen to what you say after the word, but. Your real belief always comes after but. I want to be healthy. But it runs in my family. I believe I can heal. But the doctors said it's incurable. I'm doing everything right. But nothing's working. I trust God. But I'm scared. The second part of those sentences, the part after but, that's your real belief. That's what your subconscious is following. And until you change that deeper belief, your conscious efforts won't produce results. So how do you remove these blocks? How do you clear the interference? It's a process, and it requires honesty, courage, and consistency. First, acknowledgement. You can't change what you won't acknowledge. You have to look honestly at your beliefs without judgment. Where are you holding resentment? Be specific. Who hurt you? What happened? Where do you feel unworthy? Why do you believe you don't deserve health? How are you identifying with disease? What language are you using? What are you afraid of? What secondary gains might illness be providing? Just acknowledge it all. Write it down if that helps. No judgment. No shame. Just truth. Second, forgiveness. This is not optional. You must forgive everyone who hurt you. Not because they deserve it. Because you deserve freedom. Forgive your parents for what they didn't give you. Forgive your spouse for failing you. Forgive your friend for betraying you. Forgive your employer for firing you. Forgive the drunk driver who hit you. Forgive the doctor who misdiagnosed you. Forgive God for allowing pain. Forgive yourself for every mistake, every failure, every way you've harmed yourself or others. Just release it all. You don't have to feel forgiveness immediately. Forgiveness is a decision before it's a feeling. Make the decision. Speak it out loud. I forgive this person completely. I release all resentment. I set myself free. Say it every day, until you mean it. Eventually, the feeling will follow. But start with the decision. Your subconscious needs to hear new instructions. Right now, it's building your body based on resentment. Give it something else to build with. Third, release. Consciously let go. This is a mental and emotional act. Imagine those old beliefs, those old resentments, those old fears, those old identities as physical objects you're holding in your hands. Heavy stones. And you've been carrying them for so long your arms ache. Now make a conscious decision to open your hands and let them drop. Visualize them falling away from you, hitting the ground, rolling away. Feel the lightness. Feel the freedom. Feel your hands empty, ready to receive something new. Say out loud, I release this now. It no longer serves me. I let it go. Fourth, replacement. You can't just remove old beliefs and leave a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. You have to replace old beliefs with new ones. This is where affirmations come in. But not as wishful thinking, as reprogramming. You're installing new software in your subconscious. Divine order flows through me. Perfect health is my birthright. I am healed, I am whole, I am free. My body knows how to heal itself. I trust the intelligence within me. I am worthy of perfect health. I forgive everyone, including myself. I release all that blocks my good. I accept healing now. Say these daily, multiple times a day, with feeling. Don't just recite them like a robot. Mean them. Feel them. Let them sink into your subconscious. Over time, they'll replace the old programming. The old beliefs will fade. The new beliefs will take root. And your body will begin to reflect the new programming. Now I know what you're thinking, my friend. This all makes sense, Dr. Murphy, but how do I actually do this? How do I start? Where do I begin? What are the practical steps I can take tonight? That's exactly what I want to give you now. Real practices. Specific techniques. Things you can begin immediately that will activate the blueprint within you. Practice number 1. The morning blueprint activation. This is the most important practice I'm going to give you. Do this before you get out of bed every single morning. Without exception. This is not negotiable if you want results. The reason is simple. When you first wake up, your subconscious mind is still in that receptive state between sleep and waking. Your conscious mind, with all its doubt and worry and analytical thinking, hasn't fully activated yet. This is the most powerful time to program your subconscious mind. This is when new beliefs can slip past your mental defenses and take root in your deeper mind. Here's exactly what you do. The moment you wake up, before you check your phone, before you think about your to-do list, before you start worrying about the day, place your hand on your heart. Feel your heartbeat. That steady rhythm that's been going since before you were born. That's divine intelligence. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose. Hold for a moment. Breathe out through your mouth. Feel your body waking up. Feel the life force moving through you. Then speak directly to your body. Say out loud, or silently with conviction. Every cell in my body is listening to me now. Say it with authority. You're not asking. You're not hoping. You're declaring. You have authority over your body. Then state the divine truth. Say, divine order flows through every cell. Perfect health is my birthright. I accept it now. Pause and feel those words. Don't just recite them mechanically. Mean them. Believe them. Then add specifics if you need to. My heart beats in perfect rhythm. My lungs breathe deeply and easily. My immune system is strong and vigilant. My organs function perfectly. My blood flows clean and pure. Whatever your body needs, speak it. Then visualize. This is crucial. See golden light, healing light, divine light entering through the top of your head. See it flowing down like warm honey through your entire body. See it moving through your brain, clearing away fog and confusion. Through your throat, opening communication. Through your heart, filling you with love and peace. Through your lungs, expanding your breath. Through your stomach, your liver, your kidneys, all your organs. Through your spine, your bones, your muscles. Through your blood, carrying healing to every cell. As you visualize this light, hold the feeling of gratitude. Not gratitude for something you're hoping will happen. Gratitude for something that's already happening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Say it silently as the light flows. Feel genuine appreciation for your body, for the healing that's taking place right now, for the divine intelligence that never sleeps. Do this for 3 to 5 minutes minimum. Longer if you can. Don't rush it. Quality matters infinitely more than speed. What you're doing in these few precious minutes is setting the tone for your entire day. You're programming your subconscious before your conscious mind can interfere with doubt and fear. You're giving your cells their marching orders. You're aligning yourself with the blueprint. This practice alone, if done consistently, will produce results. I've seen it transform lives. People who do this every morning report feeling more peaceful, more energetic, experiencing less pain, healing faster. It works. But you must be consistent. Every single morning. Some people tell me they don't feel anything when they do this. They say, Dr. Murphy, I'm visualizing the light but I don't feel any different. That's okay, keep doing it anyway. The feeling will come. At first, you're building the habit. You're establishing the neural pathways. You're training your mind. But eventually, you will start to feel something shift. Maybe a sense of peace that wasn't there before. Maybe a tingling sensation in your body. Maybe warmth. Maybe emotion. Tears that come from somewhere deep. These are signs that the practice is working. That something is shifting in your consciousness. But even if you don't feel anything dramatic, trust that it's working. Your subconscious is receiving the instruction. The seeds are being planted. Trust the process. Common mistake to avoid. Don't make this a mental checklist. Don't rush through the words just so you can check it off your to-do list and move on with your day. This is not a task. This is communion. This is sacred time between you and your body, between you and the divine intelligence within you. Treat it that way. Give it the reverence it deserves. Those few minutes might be the most important minutes of your entire day. Practice number 2, the cellular conversation technique. Do this anytime symptoms appear, anytime fear arises, anytime you feel pain or notice something wrong in your body. This is your tool for immediate intervention. The moment you feel pain, the moment you notice discomfort, this is what you do. Don't panic. Don't immediately start Googling symptoms. Don't spiral into worry. Instead, pause. Identify exactly where you feel the pain, the disease, the discomfort. Place your hand there gently, lovingly. Not with fear, not with anger or frustration, with love. Imagine you're comforting a small child who's frightened. That's the energy you want. Then speak directly to those cells. Say, I love you. I'm sorry I've been sending you fear and worry. I'm sorry I've been treating you like an enemy. You are made of divine intelligence. You know exactly how to be well. Then thank those cells. This might sound strange, but it's important. Thank you for trying to communicate with me. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for working so hard. Acknowledge that even disease is your body's attempt to communicate something, to protect you from something, to get your attention. Then give new clear instructions. Return to divine order now. Heal. Be whole. Be at peace. You are perfect. You are healthy. You are strong. And this is crucial. After you give the instruction, release attachment to when or how it happens. Don't sit there monitoring to see if the pain decreases in the next 5 minutes. Don't keep checking to see if it's working. That checking, that monitoring, that's doubt. And doubt blocks healing. Just give the instruction clearly, then trust it's being carried out. Let it go. Move on with your day. I had a woman who did this practice religiously with a tumor in her breast. Multiple times every day, whenever she thought about it, she would place her hands on her breast and talk to the tumor with love. Not with fear. Not with hatred. Not with, get out of my body, you evil thing. But with love. She would say, I know you're trying to protect me from something. Thank you. Thank you for working so hard. But I don't need this protection anymore. I'm safe now. You can dissolve now. Return to divine order. She did this faithfully for 3 months. The tumor shrank steadily, measurably, and eventually disappeared completely. Her doctors were stunned. They called it a miracle. She called it cellular conversation. Why does this work? Because you're fundamentally changing your relationship with your body from warfare to partnership. You're no longer fighting disease. You're no longer treating your body like an enemy that betrayed you. You're recognizing that even disease is your body's intelligent response to something, an attempt to communicate, an attempt to protect. And when you respond with love, with understanding, with gratitude, with new clear instructions, your body responds. It has no choice. It's designed to obey you. You are the authority. Important. Do this with genuine feeling, not rote mechanical repetition. If you're just saying words without meaning them, without feeling them, you're wasting your time. Remember, your cells don't speak English. They speak feeling. The transformation happens in the emotional shift, not in the words themselves. So mean it when you speak to your cells. Feel love for them. Feel gratitude. Feel compassion. They're listening. They're responding. Practice number 3. The evening forgiveness release. Before you go to sleep every night, clear the day's emotional toxins. This is like taking a shower for your mind. You wouldn't go to bed covered in physical dirt, would you? You'd wash it off first. Don't go to bed covered in emotional dirt either. Resentment, anger, fear, worry, these are toxins just as real as physical dirt. And if you go to sleep carrying them, your subconscious spends the entire night processing them, reinforcing them, building your body based on them. Here's the practice. Sitting on the edge of your bed, or lying down, review your day mentally. Just scan through it like you're watching a movie. Who upset you today? What frustrated you? Where did you feel hurt, or angry, or afraid, or disappointed? Don't judge yourself for having these feelings. You're human. Feelings arise. That's natural. Just notice them, without judgment. Then, one by one, release each person or situation. Say out loud, I forgive this person completely. I release all resentment. I set myself free. Name them if you can. I forgive my boss for criticizing me. I forgive the driver who cut me off in traffic. I forgive my spouse for that comment at dinner. I forgive my body for hurting today. And here's the most important part that most people skip. Forgive yourself. This is not optional. Say, I forgive myself for holding on to this anger. I forgive myself for worrying all day. I forgive myself for eating that junk food. I forgive myself for missing my exercise. I forgive myself for doubting. I forgive myself for any harm I've caused my body with my thoughts today. Release yourself from guilt and shame. They serve no purpose except to make you sick. Then, after you've released everything, fill that emptied space with appreciation. Don't leave a vacuum. Name 3 things your body did well today. My heart beat perfectly all day, without me thinking about it. My lungs breathed automatically. My body digested my food and extracted nutrients. My immune system fought off threats I never even knew about. My eyes let me see the sunset. My ears let me hear music. Find things to appreciate. This shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from lack to abundance, from illness to wellness. End with this statement. Say it clearly, and with conviction. I sleep in peace. My body restores itself in divine order while I rest. All healing happens while I sleep. I wake tomorrow renewed, refreshed, restored. Then let yourself drift off to sleep, holding that peaceful feeling. Why do this before sleep? Because your subconscious mind processes all night long. It never sleeps. It's always working, always building, always creating. If you go to sleep full of resentment and worry, your subconscious spends 8 hours reinforcing those patterns, building your body based on stress and fear. But if you go to sleep in peace and gratitude, in forgiveness and release, your subconscious spends 8 hours building health. Clean mental slate equals better healing. It's that simple. Many people report to me that their pain decreases significantly by morning when they start doing this practice consistently. They wake up feeling more rested. They have more energy. Chronic symptoms that have been there for years begin to fade. Why? Because they've stopped poisoning themselves with unforgiveness every night. They've cleared the channel for divine order to flow. Once a week, do a deeper version of this practice. Set aside 30 minutes. Identify one old wound. One person you've been holding on to for years, maybe even decades. One situation you replay over and over. One injustice you can't seem to let go of. And consciously, deliberately, with full intention, release it. This isn't easy. It will probably bring up strong emotion. That's good. Let it come. Cry if you need to. Scream into a pillow if that helps. Feel it fully. Don't suppress it. But then, after you've felt it completely, release it completely. Say, I forgive this person. I forgive this situation. I release all resentment. I set myself free. I choose my health over my hurt. I choose peace over being right. I let this go now. Completely. Forever. The physical impact of this deep forgiveness work is profound. I've seen it over and over. Chronic conditions that have lasted for years often shift dramatically when old deep unforgiveness is finally released. Back pain that's been there for a decade suddenly eases. Migraines that come every week stop. Digestive issues resolve. Sleep improves. Energy returns. It's like removing a dam that's been blocking the river. Once it's gone, everything flows again. Practice number 4, the assumption walk. Multiple times, throughout your day. Practice living from the wish fulfilled. This is so simple, but so powerful. Set a timer on your phone if you need to. 3 or 4 times a day, for just 2 minutes, act as if you're already completely well. Not someday. Right now. Walk with energy, even if you feel tired. Straighten your spine. Lift your head. Move your body with confidence. Speak with strength, even if you feel weak inside. Smile, even if you don't feel like it. Thank God or the universe, or divine intelligence for your perfect health in present tense, as if it's already done. Say out loud or silently, thank you for my strong, healthy body. Thank you for the energy flowing through me right now. Thank you for perfect health. Thank you for vitality and strength. Thank you for my body that works perfectly. Not, thank you for the health I hope to have someday. No. Thank you for the health I have right now. Can you feel the difference? One is hope. The other is claim. One is future. The other is present. Your subconscious only responds to present tense. As you walk, see yourself doing activities you'll do when fully healed. If you're bedridden, see yourself walking in nature. If you're in chronic pain, see yourself moving freely, dancing even. If you're weak, see yourself strong, lifting things, playing sports. Don't see these as distant future possibilities. See them as now. Feel the emotions of that reality. Freedom, joy, gratitude, peace, excitement. Let those emotions fill your body. Your cells are listening. Do this multiple times throughout the day. 2 minutes here. 2 minutes there. It doesn't have to be long, but it has to be consistent, and it has to be felt. Why does this work? Because you're impressing your subconscious mind with the end result. You're programming it with the desired outcome. And your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. To your subconscious, if you can see it clearly and feel it intensely, it's real. And it will begin to make your outer physical reality match your inner mental and emotional reality. This is law. This is not denial. I want to be very clear about that. You're not pretending you don't feel pain when you do. You're not ignoring current symptoms. You're not lying to yourself. You're simply refusing to live there mentally and emotionally. You're refusing to make current conditions your permanent residence. Yes, I feel pain now, and I know divine order is restoring me. Both can be true simultaneously. You acknowledge where you are physically, but you don't invest all your emotional energy there. You invest your emotional energy in where you're going. Think of it like a split-screen television. On one side of the screen, current physical reality. This is where you are now. On the other side, the divine blueprint reality. This is the truth. You're aware of both screens, but you're giving your attention, your belief, your emotional energy, your mental focus to the blueprint side, not the problem side, where your attention goes consistently, where you invest your energy, your body follows. This is spiritual law. This is how it works. Practice number 5, the weekly blueprint meditation. Once a week, set aside time for an extended deep session, 20 to 30 minutes minimum. Find a quiet space where you absolutely won't be interrupted. Turn off your phone. Tell your family you need this time. Lock the door, if you have to. Create a sacred space. Maybe light a candle. Maybe play some soft instrumental music, nothing with words, just peaceful background sound. Sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes. Take several deep breaths, until you feel your body relaxing, your mind quieting. Now go deeper into visualization than you normally do during your daily practice. This is extended immersion. See yourself in complete perfect health, with vivid sensory detail. Where are you? Outdoors in nature? At home? Traveling somewhere you've always wanted to go? What are you wearing? See the colors. See the textures. Who's with you? See their faces. What are you doing? See yourself moving freely, doing things you haven't been able to do. Make it so real you can touch it. Engage all 5 senses. This is crucial. What do you see? Colors, light, shadows, details. What do you hear? Voices, laughter, music, birds, waves, wind. What do you smell? Fresh air, flowers, food cooking, ocean. What do you taste? What do you feel physically? The sun warm on your skin, cool breeze, grass under your feet, texture of clothing, someone's hand in yours. The more sensory detail, the more real it becomes to your subconscious. Stay in this vision. This is important. Don't just glimpse it for 30 seconds and move on. Stay there. Live in it. Walk around in this reality. Have conversations. Do activities. Make it so vivid and so real that it feels more real than your current physical circumstances. This is your future memory. You're remembering what hasn't happened yet, in linear time but already exists in spiritual reality. You're pre-living your healing, and your subconscious, which cannot tell the difference between real and vividly imagined, accepts this as truth, and begins building your body to match. 20 to 30 minutes of this kind of deep, immersive, sensory-rich visualization once a week is more powerful than 100 shallow affirmations. You're literally rewiring your brain. You're creating new neural pathways. You're programming your subconscious at the deepest level. When you're done, when you feel complete, when you've lived so fully in that healed reality that it feels more real than your problems, come back slowly. Don't rush. Don't just jump up and go back to your day. Open your eyes gradually. Stretch gently. And then make a powerful statement of claim. Say clearly, and with complete conviction, this is done. It is finished. I accept it in faith and gratitude. I claim this healing now. Thank you. Amen. So be it. Then, and this is a key step most people skip, write in a journal. But here's what makes this different. Don't write about your visualization as a future hope or a nice experience you just had. Write as if you're describing your current reality right now. This is crucial. Today I woke up feeling energized and strong. My body is healthy and whole. I'm so grateful for the vitality flowing through me. I moved freely and without pain. I did things I love. I felt joy in my body. Write it present tense. Write it as fact. This reinforces the assumption in your subconscious even more deeply. Why once weekly instead of daily for this extended practice? Because it allows integration time. Your subconscious needs time to process, to integrate, to build. If you're doing intense deep visualization every single day, you can actually create mental and emotional exhaustion. Once a week keeps it fresh, keeps it powerful, maintains its impact. It gives your subconscious 6 days to implement what you impressed upon it in that one powerful session. Then you do it again. Each week building on the last. Each week going deeper. Each week making it more real. My dear friend, we've covered so much ground together today. So much wisdom. So many principles. So many practices. And I want to bring this all home for you now in a way that you can carry with you forever. Because I want you to walk away from this teaching with crystal clarity, with genuine hope, with real power. Let me distill everything we've talked about into its simplest, most essential form, so you never forget it. There is within you, right at this very moment, not tomorrow, not after you do enough affirmations, not after you become worthy enough, but right now, a divine intelligence that knows exactly how to heal you. This intelligence has been with you since before you were born. It's the same intelligence that grew you from a single cell into a fully formed human being, the same intelligence that beats your heart 70 times a minute without you thinking about it, the same intelligence that grows your hair and heals your cuts and fights off disease every single day without your conscious direction. This intelligence is not somewhere out there in the distant future. It's not in a doctor's office, though doctors can help. It's not in a pharmacy, though medicine has its place. It's not in a treatment center, though treatments can support. The real power, the ultimate power, is within you. It's woven into the very fabric of your being. It's encoded in every single cell. It's been there since the moment of your conception. It will be there until your last breath. This intelligence has never left you. Not for 1 second. You have only stopped listening to it. You've stopped trusting it. You've stopped aligning with it. Every cell in your body, all 37 trillion of them, is listening to you right now, at this very moment. They're not ignoring you. They're not rebelling against you. They're listening, waiting for your instructions, ready to align with the perfect blueprint of health that exists within you. That blueprint has never been damaged. It cannot be destroyed by any disease, any diagnosis, any condition. It's eternal. It's perfect. It's whole. Your only work, and I want you to really hear this, your only work is to stop interfering with it. Stop feeding your cells fear and worry and doubt. Stop waking up every morning cataloging symptoms. Stop identifying with disease. Stop saying my diabetes, my arthritis, my condition. Stop replaying the diagnosis like it's a life sentence handed down by a judge. Stop giving your power away to external authorities who, no matter how well-meaning, don't know the divine blueprint within you, can't see your spiritual reality, can only observe your current physical condition. Instead, start speaking to your body with real love. Genuine compassionate love. The way you would speak to a frightened child, or a dear friend. Start impressing upon your subconscious the truth of divine order, not as a hope, not as a wish, not as something you're trying to create, as a fact, as reality, as law, as something that already is, that you're simply accepting and allowing to express. Start living from the healing you desire, not toward it. This is the secret. Not toward it but from it. Live as if it's already done. Not because you're lying to yourself. Not because you're in denial. But because spiritually, in the invisible realm, where all things are created before they manifest physically, it is done. The blueprint is complete. The pattern is perfect. Your job is just to remove what's covering it. Remove the fear. Remove the doubt. Remove the false beliefs. Remove the unforgiveness. Remove the identification with illness. Remove the interference. And let divine order flow. Let me give you something powerful to carry with you, an affirmation that contains all the wisdom we've covered, condensed into a few sentences. I want you to place your hand on your heart right now if you're able. Feel your heartbeat. That steady, faithful rhythm, that's been going since before you could remember, that's divine intelligence working. That beat that you didn't cause. That you can't stop, no matter how hard you try. That's the same intelligence that can heal anything. Now repeat this with me. Say it out loud if you can. Silently if you must. But with deep feeling. Always with feeling. Divine order flows through every cell of my body now. Perfect health is my natural state, my birthright, my spiritual inheritance. I release all that blocks this truth. I forgive everyone, including myself. I forgive my body for every symptom. I release all fear, all doubt, all false beliefs. I accept wholeness with deep gratitude. I am healed. I am whole. I am free. And so it is. Amen. Say it again. and again. Say it until you feel something shift inside. A softening. A release. A knowing. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it becomes more real than your symptoms, more true than your diagnosis, more powerful than your fear. This isn't magic. This isn't wishful thinking. This isn't positive psychology. This is law. Spiritual law. The same law that grows trees from tiny seeds, without anyone understanding exactly how. The same law that orbits planets in perfect mathematical precision. The same law that beats your heart and breathes your lungs and heals your wounds without your conscious thought. You don't have to understand exactly how it works. Nobody understands how a seed becomes a tree, but it does, every single time, because it's law. You don't have to figure out the mechanism, you don't have to understand the biology, you just have to stop resisting, stop fighting, stop interfering, trust it, cooperate with it, align with it, and watch what happens. I've seen it thousands of times over 30 years. People who were given death sentences are alive and thriving decades later. People who were told nothing more could be done found complete healing. People who spent years in chronic pain are now pain-free. People who were wheelchair-bound are walking. People whose organs were failing have organs functioning perfectly. Not occasionally. Not rarely. Regularly. Not because they were special. Not because I was special. But because they learned to work with the divine order instead of against it. Now, my friend, if this teaching has resonated with you, if something has shifted inside you even a little bit, if you felt a spark of hope or understanding or recognition of truth, I want you to do 3 specific things for me. These aren't just formalities. These matter. First, subscribe to this channel, so you don't miss the other teachings I'm sharing. This is just the beginning. There's so much more wisdom. So many more principles, so many more techniques, so many more stories that can help you on your healing journey. I'm going to continue teaching these principles because they work, because they change lives, because people need to hear this truth. Subscribe, so we can continue this journey together. Second, click that like button. It seems like such a small thing, doesn't it? But it's not. It tells me this message helped you. It tells me these 80 minutes of teaching resonated with your soul. And more importantly, it helps this teaching reach someone else who desperately needs it. Someone who's about to give up. Someone who's been told there's no hope. Someone who needs to hear that there is a divine blueprint within them that cannot be destroyed by any circumstance. Your one click, that one simple action, might save someone's life. Think about that. It might be the thing that helps this video reach someone at their darkest moment, someone who's contemplating giving up, and this teaching gives them the hope and the tools to heal. Third, and this is perhaps the most important thing I'm going to ask you, leave a comment below. Don't just watch and leave. Participate. Be part of this community. Tell me what you're healing from. Tell me which practice you're going to start with tonight. Tell me what shifted for you during this teaching. What moment hit you? What principle made something click? What story gave you hope? Share your journey. Be vulnerable. Be honest. Because here's what happens. Your words, your testimony, your experience might be exactly what another person needs to read to have hope again. Someone might read your comment and think, if they're healing from that, maybe I can heal from this. If they were given that diagnosis, and they're working with these principles, maybe I can too. We're all in this together, supporting each other, lifting each other up, reminding each other of the truth when we forget. This isn't just about you healing. It's about all of us healing together. Don't keep this to yourself. Share your journey. Your healing might inspire someone else's healing. Remember this always, my dear friend. You are not your disease. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your symptoms. You are not your test results. You are not your medical history. You are not your family's genetic pattern. You are not what the doctors said. You are not what the statistics predict. You are a divine being having a temporary human experience. You are an eternal spiritual being, living in a physical body for a brief time, and the power that created you, the infinite intelligence that formed you from nothing, that grew you in the womb, that has sustained you every moment of your life, is the same power that can restore you to perfect health. It's already within you right now. It's already working. Even as I speak these words, even as you listen, divine order is flowing through you. Your job is simply to get out of the way. Remove the blocks. Release the fear. Let go of the doubt. Trust the blueprint. It's never failed yet. And it won't start with you. Every single body that has ever healed, from the beginning of time until now, did so because divine order was allowed to express. The same power healed them. That's in you right now. You're no different. You're not the exception. You're not the one person this won't work for. The same intelligence is in you. The same power is available to you right now. The same law is working for you at this very moment. Not tomorrow. Not after you figure it all out. Not after you do everything perfectly. Now. This moment. Not after you become more spiritual. Not after you pray enough. Not after you suffer enough. Now. I'm going to leave you with this final thought, and I want you to let it sink deep into your consciousness. Healing is not something you achieve. It's something you allow. It's not something you earn through good behavior, or right thinking, or enough effort. It's something you accept as your birthright. It's not something outside you that you need to go get, search for, find, acquire. It's something inside you that you need to reveal, uncover, allow, accept. The work is not in becoming whole. The work is in removing what makes you believe you're not already whole. And that work, my beloved friend, begins tonight. Right now. With the first practice. With the first affirmation. With the first conversation with yourselves. With the first act of forgiveness. With the first moment of surrender. You have everything you need. Right now, nothing is missing. The power is within you. The blueprint is within you. The healing is within you. The intelligence is within you. The divine order is within you. Now go and claim it. Speak it into existence. Live it as if it's already done. Be it. Embody it. You are not waiting to be healed. You are accepting the healing that already is. Now go and live from that truth. I'll see you in the next teaching. Until then, be well, my friend. Be whole. Be at peace. Be blessed. And know with absolute certainty that divine order is flowing through every single cell of your body right now at this very moment, restoring you, renewing you, regenerating you, bringing you back to the perfection you never really lost. It was just covered for a while. Now it's being revealed. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust the divine intelligence within you, and watch miracles unfold.